Welcome to the Dusty Muffins, where menopause meets sisterhood and strength. We're three menopause specialists coming together to laugh, share, and empower you through the wild ride of menopause and perimenopause. Whether you're curious, confused, or just looking for real talk, you're in the right place. We're here to answer your burning questions, educate, and advocate, all with a dash of humor and a lot of heart. So pull up a chair and join the conversation. Before we dive in, please remember, while we're doctors, we're not your doctors. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. We encourage you to partner with your own medical clinician to address your unique health needs. This is the Dusty Muffins.
I'm Dr. Christine Hart Kress, a board-certified women's health nurse practitioner and menopause-certified practitioner, and I see patients via telemedicine in several states as well.
I'm Dr. Rebbecca Hertel. I'm a board-certified osteopathic family medicine physician and a Menopause Society certified practitioner. I have a private telemedicine practice, and I see patients in several different states.
I am Dr. Aoife O'Sullivan, a board-certified family physician and Menopause Society certified practitioner, and I see patients through my telemedicine practice here in Oregon and Washington.
Today's guest is a certified run coach, cycling instructor, and group fitness trainer who turned a midlife fitness reboot into a full-blown sprint revolution. At 37, Lindsay Brooks couldn't run a mile without stopping. By 41, she qualified for the Boston Marathon and left her 18-year corporate career in the dust. Now she's the founder of Lace Up with Lindsay and the creator of the cult favorite Sixpack Sprint Series, a high-intensity interval program that's as sweaty as it is unhinged. Her crew? A wild, tight-knit gang of sprinters known as the Besties, bonded by grit, guts, and their all-out mantra, go balls to the walls. From themed outfits to savage sprints, Lindsay brings humor, heart, and hardcore hustle to every session. She doesn't lead from the front, she leads from the grind, right beside you. Let's lace up, lean in, and get ready to feel the shift. Hi, Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining us. You are collectively kicking all of our tails a couple days a week, so it's nice to not be under your torture, and you're going to be under ours.
I know, right? Now I'm nervous.
So Lindsay, I did not realize that. Now, I've been with Lindsay from the beginning, and I did not realize that you are now an entrepreneur and went full time doing your sprint series. So why don't you start with how you got started? And then how you decided that this was going to be your new career.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was in corporate retail for 18 years and I loved it for a very long time. And then my life really changed when COVID hit, as it did for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was like I didn't realize how burnt out I was until everything came to like a halting stop, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Like, you know, I was commuting very long hours every day, traveling to New York a couple times a week, so it was a lot. And after COVID subsided a couple years, and we had to go back to, because my company went remote, pretty much fully remote, so it was a drastic lifestyle change. And at that time I started to I had more time to take care of my health and my fitness, and I'll never forget, I had a pivotal moment where I was laying on the couch and I was watching my Netflix and drinking my wine, having my snacks, and I watched the movie Brittany Runs a Marathon. If you've never seen it, mm-hmm. I highly recommend it. It's so good. And there's a scene in the movie where she's like, I'm just gonna run to the corner. That's all I'm gonna do. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna just, tomorrow I had my treadmill in my basement that I had not used for 12 years. I used it one time in 12 years. And so the next day I was like, I'm just gonna try to run a mile. And I couldn't do it without stopping to walk. And then every day after that, I just that's like where it started. Like literally it was like, I watched this movie, it inspired me, and I busted out the treadmill the next day, and it just kind of started my journey with running. And I found like so many benefits to running, not just physical, but more like mental, emotionally. And people started reaching out to me. You know, I was in a fitness group, and that's where Christine and I connected. And people started reaching out to me for running advice, and I started helping people. And then I was like, you know what? Like I want to know how. I don't want to just be able to share things from my experience. I want to share from a point of expertise. And I had this like, it's just like one of those weird, I had this overwhelming feeling of like, I think I really want to become a run coach. Like I have just feel this like purpose. I feel like I'm being drawn to this. I don't even know what it's going to lead to. And I told my husband, I'm like, I think I want to get certified as a running coach. Like it just feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing had like in my life, I'd never like felt so drawn to do something, but like I didn't know why, you know, it just felt right. And so I got certified, and that's kind of how that became. And
How does one get certified? Like,
what?
how does one get certified as a running coach? I wouldn't even know where to start
So
with.
you can do it like you can do it in person or you can do it
Mhm.
virtually, but they have classes that you take, and there's different activities that you do, and then there's an exam and all the things. So, but I
That's
was just
awesome.
I was very invested in it too. Just, you know, I bought all the books and was reading, and you know, I wanted to really learn and understand more about all that. So, and then I started, so basically at the time I was still working at my corporate job, and they were wanting us to come back to work. And it was just mentally, like I was just so burnt out and I couldn't do it. And I actually left that job not really even having like a solid backup plan. Like it didn't really go over well with the husband.
That
Like
resonates with Aoife and I, Lindsay.
it was like literally like every week, every day, like what are you doing with your life? What like, and I was like, you know, my husband is so like type A plus plus if that existed, and I'm more of like just I go off things off my intuition. I have feelings. I'm like, I need a lot of progress in my brain today. And he would be like, well, did you make some projections? What are you going to do? Like, he wanted numbers. I'm like, I have a feeling. I just feel that everything's going to be okay. Like, he just had a feeling. And then, so it took me like about a year from when I left my job to launching Lace Up with Lindsay, my own run coaching business. And I started with some one-on-one coaching and training people for marathons. And that was very rewarding. But I wanted to do something where I could impact more people all at the same time. And I also wanted to, like, selfishly for me, I was like, I've struggled with consistency and the discipline. And I was like, you know, if I do a class or something, then I have to do it. Like, it's going to force me. And I was like, I wanted to do something. I was like, maybe I'll do like some kind of a group program where maybe every 6 weeks I'll do something different. And I came up with the Sixpack Sprint Series. I loved like sprinting. Like anytime I did it in my routine, like it just always made me feel like really empowered, and you just feel like a badass. Like, you know, like so, and I knew it had really good health benefits, and I knew it had, you know, it helps really blast the tummy fat. But I actually didn't even realize when I started how beneficial sprints are for your physical and mental health, especially as we age. Like, I didn't even realize. So when I started, we started this series, and I was going to switch it up every 6 weeks and I was like, man, we'll do something different for the next 6 weeks, you know? And I did like a tally in the group, in the Facebook group, and everyone was like, no, we want you to do sprints again. And so it kind of just has been sticking. And I've learned that it is something that you can incorporate in your routine year round, as long as you're doing it safely. So we do it twice a week. And I have completely felt a difference. I became even more passionate about it and wanting to keep doing it because I felt the difference myself in my body, mentally. I have ADHD, although I also am like, do I, or is it perimenopause? Because I'm not sure now.
That is the question.
As I continue to read things, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
But so that's really how it stemmed.
Something happened this week that I loved. You came onto the Facebook group and you said you just weren't feeling it one day.
Yeah.
And we all have so many
Yes.
of those days. It's not like they're few and far between. So many times a week, you're just not feeling it.
Yes.
And you went onto your own Facebook group and you read comments from your followers, and that gave you the energy and the will to get up and do it again, which was so lovely.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I've always told everybody in the group too. I'm like, I don't necessarily always feel like I'm leading this group. I feel like we're all in it together. We're doing this together because I feel the same way. I don't know. I feel like when I've done other fitness programs, and it's probably, it has to be incorrect, right? Because like you said, we all have bad days, but I always presume that the person teaching is like, got their shit, can I curse in here or no?
Yeah, you can. We're explicit.
They got their shit together, they, that they're working out every day and, not missing a beat, but it's not true. But I feel like sometimes you feel like you don't want to show that side because you want to be positive and motivating. But I've just found that when I am vulnerable and it's, I'm gonna, if I'm in a funk, I'm gonna share that I'm in a funk. And I think people connect even more with that because we all can relate. And so, the group, was just so positive and encouraging and it just made me feel better. And sometimes it's just you just read a couple things and it can lift your spirits and turn your mood around,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a lovely group.
Want the Dusty Muffins at your next event? We do panels, live podcasts, and talks that bring the heat, literally. Corporate, CME, or retreats, we've got you. So hit us up at thedustymuffins333@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at thedustymuffins.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christine has been telling us to join for ages, but it took us a while. But now, it's wonderful.
Well, everyone is different.
Yeah,
Everyone
talk about how you theme each series and how you and your messages are different for each class.
I think Christine is channeling you today, Lindsay, with her choice of blouse. She's definitely channeling a Lace Up with Lindsay episode.
Yes.
It's so creative.
We did have a luau theme.
Yeah.
Everything that has happened in the group with the themes and everything, it all kind of just, like, I never planned for any of that. It all just evolved naturally. So I think it was around the third series, I started doing themes. What I started to realize was when you are sprinting, it's such a high intensity exercise that there's something that magical that happens. Like, you just feel really empowered. And when you're doing it with other people and you're sharing that sense, that intense energy and that feeling of empowerment, there's a bond that is kind of created. Like, you're all feeling really amazing from doing that. And I found that when you use that physical intensity, that empowerment that you feel from sprinting physically, and you pair that with a message, whether it's like something empowering or motivational or just something real that everyone can relate to, and it just makes that even more powerful, and it's something that you can then take on with you to like in the rest of your day, in the rest of your life, in other parts of your life. And so I started doing the themes, and just different, every class would be a different theme that was, some type of motivational message. So I'm trying to think of like some of the phrases and things. Every class has like a theme name. And then I started creating like graphics like in Canva, right? I was like, I have a very like a creative side. And so I was like, this is just so fun. I just liked doing it. And then I started matching my outfit to my graphics. So I was like, okay, if it's step into the light, right? Like that was like a theme one time, step into the light, and it was like, I don't know if it was yellow, and then I would wear a yellow workout top, and then people wanted to start matching, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this, and then it was like, now I'm gonna make a yellow backdrop. I'm gonna like make something, or like it started to escalate. It actually started with Halloween. Last year was when I did the decorations for the first time, and it was a zombie class. And another benefit of sprint training is if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, you'll be prepared. And so I dressed like a zombie. I had a whole backdrop. I had a fog machine. I made the whole thing like black everywhere. And it was so much fun. And then the series after that was the holiday one, where I just like
that was off the chain,
full out themed every class. Sometimes I had, there were props, backdrops, decorations, and it was just fun. It just made it more interesting. And, that was what I wanted to do when I did this, was like, I knew that, sprints were so beneficial, and they can make you feel really empowered and good, but it's hard to do on your own. It's that max intensity. It's hard to do on your own on a consistent basis. So I thought, if we can do this all together and we can make it fun somehow, that we'll stick with it, So, and I get bored easy, so I wouldn't be able to do the same thing every series. So every series has a different theme. I had a series called Empower Your Heart, and the whole series was about heart rate training, and we went through all the different heart rate zones. And then the summer one was when I'm like, I can't do decorations every single time. The summer one was, we did the shredded for summer, and I had all different summer themes, from like the Miami pool party with the flamingos, and the throwback to the 80s summer, and the lifeguard. It was fun. It was fun.
Which Mr. Turkey Balls, or whatever his name is, Heather Feather Turkey Balls, I can't remember his name. He made an appearance with the flamingo. That might have been a little X-rated.
Yes, that was Sir Gobble Balls.
Yeah, that one.
Who came for Thanksgiving. I know. I love it. I get a little unhinged and wacky, but it's fun. We have fun. My motto, because I was like, I remember for the very first class, I was like, how do I explain to people it's max intensity, right? Sprint interval training is that your max effort for like 10 to 30 seconds at a time. And it came to me, I was like, balls to the wall. And I actually Googled it, because I was like, is this inappropriate? And then I was like, no, it's not. It means to go all out, your max effort. And so that kind of became like my motto, go balls to the wall. And then it's just, oh my God, the group is just hilarious. It's escalated. I mean, I don't think a class goes by where we don't make some type of ball joke, and it just makes it more fun. Like, a lot of people will, when you do the sprint, and then it's a walking recovery for about 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and so people are dropping in the comments, and it's like entertaining. That in itself is entertaining, just reading the comments.
Yeah.
And I
I would
think this
agree
is
with
what
that.
we talk to our patients about this too, right? Because a lot of people do not love exercising. And so we specifically say to them, try and pair your exercise with something fun, something that you do enjoy. And so I feel like Lace Up with Lindsay is the perfect exercise for patients that we see, especially because it's very female oriented. I know
Yeah.
there are some men in there, but
Yeah.
there's such great feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sprinting, which is so good for us in midlife.
Yeah.
And then you pair it with all the fun stuff as well. So it's kind
Yeah.
of ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. It's
And I
fun.
think learning too. I think you bring up a lot of good points in the class, like like about dynamic stretching and static stretching. I think
Mhm.
most of us learn to static stretch before and after. So talk to us a little bit about stretching, because you also have a stretching component in
Yeah.
addition to what we do before and after every class. So talk to us
Yeah.
about how you got there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, recovery is a huge part. Like I'm such an advocate of recovery, injury prevention, because I've just seen it happen so much where people push too hard and they're not stretching, they're not giving themselves enough recovery, and that is something that also is even more important as women as we get older in perimenopause. You have to make sure you might have to give yourself more recovery time. So for every class, we start with dynamic stretching as part of the warm up. So that's just like it's stretching with movement. And this was a mistake I made when I started running. Before I learned that, I would do my stretches and hold them, but you really don't want to do that before you're running, before you're exercising. You want to do those stretches with movement, so you're warming everything up, and then afterwards, because if your muscles are cold and you're stretching them out, it actually could do more damage than good. And so after your workout, when your muscles are warm, that's when you want to hold the stretch. Those are the static stretches, and that will help lengthen your muscles and help prevent that soreness and the tightness that you feel if you're not doing it after.
That's so
And then
interesting.
I
I
do
agree.
once a week. So after class, I always incorporate stretching. Like I do it on the tread. I always finish with 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes of stretching right there after class. So people, I'm like, don't run off yet. Like, let's stay here and stretch. Like 5 minutes is honestly, you don't need a ton of time. If just a couple minutes
Teach us
can
how
make
to
a
do it
huge.
in the shower afterwards
Right,
when we like have to
exactly.
get ready for work.
Yeah,
That's a great
I said that the
idea.
other day too. I was
Exactly. Can we
like,
just stretch, right? Because
yeah,
I go straight like on when I at your class on it must have been Friday, and I was like, I gotta go. I have to go get ready and get into the shower. But like I would be stretching in the shower.
yeah, absolutely. And that's like another thing I said too. Like just sometimes if you taking a hot shower, because a lot of times people don't get to the stretch right away, right? So then they stretch later, but their muscles are cold again.
Right.
So you want like take a hot shower and then do stretching. And
That's a
and
great
yeah, so
tip.
and then I do like I'll have about a 15-minute stretch on the mat that I'll do in addition, that I post in the group and encourage people to do. And we do foam rolling, and we do trigger point ball exercises, and just a lot of good stretches on the mat that for all the muscles that we're working in
That's great.
sprints.
Can you go over? We touched a little bit on the zones, and so I'm a lover of it's either zone 2 or zone 3 to 4 for me for the sprint portion, but I have incorporated a lot more zone 2, and I talked to a lot to my midlife women too about zone 2.
Yeah.
Can you go over, explain those zones for us?
Yeah.
And
So the heart rate zones, I know you'll see like 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. When I did my series, I always see more of 1 through 5. That's what I learned through my my coach training. So that class was all around zones 1 through 5, and so yeah, so zone 2, right? That's that very comfortable pace. The converse, you can have a conversation with someone, and that is a fat burning zone, right? So you're going at a nice steady intensity where your body will use fat for fuel. But it takes, you have to do it longer. It can get boring. And a lot of people struggle with hitting that zone 2, because you feel like you're going slow. I struggle to even hitting that. And I always tell people too, I think the biggest takeaway I learned from that Empower Your Heart series was to not get so hung up on the numbers on your watch, with your heart rate zones on your watch, and to really go more by effort and how it feels. So, zone 2 is, it's comfortable. You feel like you could keep going. You can have a conversation. Technically it's supposed to be 60 to 70% of your max heart rate, but you can't always trust the devices.
So Lindsay, would that be like, for people listening, would that be like a good fast walk? Or
Yeah, so everyone is different. It could be a slow jog, it could be a fast walk. Yeah. Yep.
Like the hike we did this morning.
Well, the hike, I mean, once you add the incline, and then that starts to bring your heart rate up. So if it's like
You have to watch it.
an easy pace and a slight incline, yes. But once you pick up that intensity and add more of that resistance in the incline, it's going to bring your heart rate up.
Yeah, I did notice that.
You have to watch that, right?
I did
you
notice
have to watch that with your because my zone 2 is not someone else's. Like my zone 2 is an incline of 6 at a 3, walking at a 3 with or without a weighted vest, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's also one thing. I mean, like you said earlier, everyone's zone 2, it's that 60 to 70% of your heart rate. My resting heart rate is probably 50. And so it takes a little bit longer to do that.
Yeah. And it's of your max heart rate, not your resting heart rate. So, and then zone 3 is, I always say, don't get stuck in zone 3. That's where people can plateau, because it's, you're going out for a run, say, and you want to feel like you're putting in effort, right? So you're pushing a little harder than comfortable, but you're not pushing so hard that you're dying, because you want to be able to keep going. You want to feel like you're getting a good workout in. And when you are constantly doing that type of intensity, that's when you can plateau. Are we losing Rebbecca?
No, maybe sometimes we freeze a little. But Lindsay, a lot of our patients would tell us that. They'll come in and they'll say, this is what I've always done for my exercise. I go for my run, I do X, Y, Z, and it's no longer working. And that sounds like it might be that kind of zone 3 for them, that they've plateaued.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, exactly. And what I always stress to people is the importance of the variety of intensities, right? So the zone 2 and then the zone 5, right? And you can have those zone 3s, but you need to have the more of those extremes to really move the needle, and to just have a more, if you want to improve in your speed, and then of course to just reap so many of the health benefits that come with sprint interval training, that's hitting that zone 5, your max heart rate. But it's just for a few seconds. So it's achievable, and we all have our own max.
So what do you tell, because when I'm talking to patients about doing the sprint interval training, what do you tell patients who say, I can't do that, or or how do you incorporate, I don't have a treadmill, for example. So those are the two things I hear. So how do you respond? Because I tell everybody they need to do it.
Yeah, I think people have in their heads that like sprints, you just imagine like the Olympics and the sprinters, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, that's sprinting. I can't do that. But sprinting, I mean, the definition of sprinting is going your max effort, that burst of intensity as fast as you can go. So everybody has their own max intensity. So everyone can sprint, and it doesn't have to be running. So a lot of times that's the biggest thing I hear. Well, I'm not a runner. I don't have a treadmill. I'm like, well, you don't have to be a runner. Mm-hmm. You can do this on the bike. You can do this on the rower. Like, it's just, it's pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And that's what I help to do for that short period of time. And then you recover. So you fully recover, give yourself like, our recoveries are usually like 2 minutes about, and to get your heart rate back down so that you can go as hard as you can again just for that short burst of time. So everybody's max looks different. For some people, like power walking might get their heart rate up to zone 5 because they're not, you know what I mean? They're not used to it, or being on the bike. And so you do have to do it carefully if you are new to fitness and you're diving into this. You do need to be cautious. I always say just, ease into it. Like, a lot of people naturally do anyway, because especially on the treadmill, they'll be like, I'm afraid to hit a certain speed. I don't want to go flying off. And so it's better always to just, slowly you'll build your confidence. And that's like what we do throughout the series. And a lot of people will, there's so many people in the group that are like, I'm not a runner, but like or even people are like, I hate running, but I love sprints. That's why I'm like, it's so different than running. So you don't have to be a runner. You can follow the class on the bike or another, equipment, the elliptical, and still reap a lot of the same benefits, physical benefits, mental benefits that come with sprint interval training.
Feeling off in midlife? I'm Dr. Rebbecca Hertel, and I offer concierge telemedicine across multiple states focused on hormones, weight, libido, and sleep, and longevity. Let's get you thriving. So visit www.osteopathicmidlifehealth.com.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that how you encourage people, because when I started sprinting, my number was like 6.5, and now I'm up to 10.2 on the treadmill, and I got short legs.
Oh my God, fast. That's amazing.
She's going fast.
And I got short legs. I always said fat girl can run, but yeah, but I think it's, the encouragement of the class, and, there are a lot of really, really fast runners, but there's also not some fast runners. But I think it's just every class, your encouragement to just a little bit more. And so every series I have a new goal for myself. And I really do think that consistency really has helped with my menopotting problem. Because when I'm consistent, I can get that pooch down, and when I'm not consistent, I don't. But I do like the fact that you've added the abs and the booty workout. I mean, you never know what you're going to wind up adding to a class, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, when's the next series start, and can you give us the inside scoop on the theme?
So, the series that we're in right now is actually still, signups are still open if people wanted to join. They're open till June 10th. And all the classes are available to replay till July 20th. So I always give enough time that I want people to do, like, really no more than 2 a week, unless you're doing the class at a more easy, moderate effort. If you're doing it at that max intensity, twice a week is what I recommend, with about 3 days in between for recovery. So spacing it out. And then the next one will start after this. We'll start on July 20. Oh, sorry. The next one will start July 22nd. And you know what, Christine? I have no idea yet what the theme is, what it's going to be. Although I did have one idea, but I'm not sure. But it kind of evolves around recovery, because I almost want to just push that even more. But yeah, no, I'm not sure yet. Sometimes these things hit me. Like sometimes even the themes, it's like the day before something hits me. I have a weird process about these. But all
about
of them
them
coming
feelings.
together.
All about them feelings.
All about them feelings.
Oh,
So, Lacey, can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
yes.
Yes, so my website is laceupwithlindsay.com. On Instagram, Facebook, it's Lace Up with Lindsay, Lindsay with an A. Yeah, you can sign up on my website, and then if you want to join, everything's in a private Facebook group that you get put in, and it's really it's $75 for 6 weeks, and it's like I always think it's just worth trying. You know, that's why I like it being every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks, try it, see if you like it. Some people do it; they take a break if they're traveling a lot or something, then they'll come back. I think what's been so rewarding for me is to see the amount of people that keep coming back. You know, so I'm like, that's got to be a good thing. So
Yeah, we want our
We've all
listeners
tried
to
it.
come.
It was good too. We've all tried it. So.
I love
Dusty
that.
Muffins are in there. Come and join us.
Oh yeah, the muffins are there.
Yes, I love that.
And it's nice because it's virtual. You can be anywhere. That's what's so lovely about it. I literally have like my, laptop on my treadmill, like desk. And during even my rest, I'm doing stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I know it's
just
cool that the community. I know someone lives in Ireland. There's another person who lives in Germany. So there's people from like all over. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's
I
really.
realized it was international. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely muffin approved. We loved it. It's a lot of fun, and we're big, we're active and exercisers, and we appreciate all the tips and taking time out of your day to come talk with us about it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
thank you
Lindsay.
for having me.
Absolutely. It was great, Lindsay.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.